Hello. Let's do PTE Reading Reorder Paragraphs. As we know, there are 5 item types in PTE Reading. Number 1, multiple choice, choose single answer. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Reorder paragraphs, this is the one we are doing now. Reading, fill in the blanks, and reading and writing, fill in the blanks. Let's do reorder paragraphs. Now, what are the steps that are recommended here? First of all, count the number of sentences or paragraphs to be arranged and put letters for these in your writing pad, because these passages will be on the screen and of course you can't write on the screen. So on your writing pad, just put letters A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whatever is the number of sentences you have to arrange. Then read sentences one by one and start looking for keywords. Now, keywords is the main thing, of course. We have to identify what are the keywords here. And then on your writing pad, start connecting sentences that are logically connected. Just start connecting sentences, whatever come to your mind. They might not be the first sentence. Then you can look for the first sentence from where the story starts. Now move all choices to their positions on the answer panel, and before submission, read the whole set once again critically to look for any inconsistencies in flow. Okay, make sure that it makes sense. Let's do an example. Now here we can see something here, and let's see what's the suggestion. The first suggestion is count the number of sentences. So let us count. Let's see how many are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there are 5 sentences on your answer sheet, answer pad. You can writing pad. You can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so those 5 numbers are denoting these 5 passages which you have to arrange. They are not in the proper order. And then we'll start reading them. Read the sentences one by one, looking for keywords. So if we start from the first one, Diana Lee Smith, one of the founders of Nairobi's Mazingira Institute, has closely studied Korogocho. You say, okay, there's a name. A huge slum on the eastern edge of the city. Now we don't know what's a keyword in this sentence. Anything can be there. We move on to the next one. Large peripheral slums. Now slums comes again. So we go back to the previous one and mark a huge slum. And here also we mark slums because these are connected to each other, especially in Africa. Okay, in previous one there was Nairobi, and here there is Africa. So Africa is a continent. So we also mark it. Maybe it might help us. Are usually complex quilt works of kin networks, tenure systems, and tenant relationships. The third sentence. Barracks like Gita, on the other hand, yes, this is a very important keyword. It tells us that this sentence, this paragraph, cannot be the first paragraph, because on the other hand has to have something which was discussed before this, then it comes. So it's a very important key phrase. Is an entirely speculative village built by entrepreneurs for rent, despite the fact that the land is publicly owned. Okay, and the next one, the most wretched village. Okay, the most is an important keyword, and we'll see later on why this is important. Okay, all these adjectives are important. Grogan consists of one-room cardboard shacks and is largely populated by female-headed households evicted from an old shanty town near the Sandy city center. Okay. Last one, Korogocho includes 7 villages. Okay, again, this Korogocho came, which we had marked in the beginning. If not, we can mark there. We can say, okay, this name came before, and it includes 7 villages. So the village is also coming. Okay. Offering a menu of different housing and rental types. Now, after doing this exercise, how can we connect them? What can come after what? For example, if we see in the second sentence, they are saying large peripheral slums. while the first one they're saying a huge slum. So there's a logical sequence. It means the large peripheral slums, that's the overall thing which was mentioned before, and out of those one slum is mentioned in the next sentence. Yes, it makes sense. Similarly, another keyword here also is important. In the second one there is Africa, which is a continent, while in the first sentence there is Nairobi. So Africa is a continent, Nairobi is in the continent. So this also gives us a hint that okay, this might come before that. So the first sentence might come after that. We'll just mark this on our writing pad. We'll put a small arrow from 2 to 1. Okay, and we'll start looking for more connections. Now if you look, Korogocho came in the first sentence, and Korogocho was there in the last sentence also. In the last sentence they are saying Korogocho includes 7 villages. Now of course one of this has to be before the other one. In the first sentence they are telling you that Korogocho is a huge slum. Okay, in the last one they are telling more about the Korogocho, which was introduced in the first sentence. Here they are giving more details. They are saying there are 7 villages in the Korogocho. So logically this last sentence should be after the first sentence. There might be some sentences in between them also, but the last sentence cannot be before the first sentence. That's the main message here. Similarly, as we had already identified, in the third sentence it is on the other hand. On the other hand tells us that this can't be before any other sentence, and it is on the other hand is an entirely speculative village. Okay, so this is a village, and so there's another village that must be discussed before that. So if we go to the fourth sentence, that is saying they are saying the most wretched village, Grogan, whatever. So it also gives us a hint that okay, the fourth sentence must come before the third sentence. Now we have somewhat outline of the passages, and we can see how they are connected. So we'll see what can be the first sentence then, because as we had done in the last one. So there were 2 sets of sentences. One set of sentences were starting from the second one, large peripheral slums, and the other one was starting from the most wretched village. So of course we can see the Africa one should be the first one. So we'll place it there at the target place. All the choices will be moved to their positions, and then we'll read the whole set once again critically to look for any inconsistencies in flow. We will see large peripheral slums, especially in Africa, are usually complex coiled works of kin networks, tenure systems, and tenant relationships. Okay, so this is a sentence which we can again critically analyze, that doesn't need any preface, anything that comes before it. Diana Lee Smith, one of the founders of Nairobi's Mazingira Institute, has closely studied Korogocho, a huge slum on the eastern edge of the city. This sentence can also be written as a standalone sentence, but yes, Africa 1 can come before that because it's about a continent, and now we are going into depth. So we are saying okay, in Nairobi there's a person who has studied Korogocho. Now what is Korogocho? Is a huge slum, and this Korogocho, the next sentence says, includes 7 villages. Okay, the next one says the most wretched village, so that also makes sense. Out of those 7 villages, the most wretched village, this one consists of whatever. And the last one, barracks like Gita, on the other hand. Yes, so now we can see everything is making sense. So we have arranged it correctly, successfully, and this is how we'll do other practice sessions. Okay, thank you.